Okay, so this is another hologram that I've recently created. So I thought I would put together a short video to show how it was made. So the first step is to create an H1 hologram. This is what serves as the first hologram in the process. So this is a transmission hologram. And what you're looking at here is the plate on which the emulsion, or in this case the HX200 film, is placed. And this is the overhead mirror that provides the reference beam. So this reference beam is going down at an angle onto the plate. And here is the object that I will be using for the hologram. So again, it sits behind the plate, and I have a few object beams off to the side that provide additional illumination on the object. So here is an example of this H1 hologram. So this is the transmission hologram, and you can see that as we look around it, the object appears to disappear. So indeed, this is the transmission H1 hologram, and we can use this to construct the H2 hologram, which I will show later on. So for now, you can see what this looks like as we move around. It appears to have 3D depth to it, and so that's always with a transmission hologram. That's most high fidelity quality that you get, in my opinion, is a transmission hologram. But again, the downside to a transmission hologram is that you cannot reconstruct it without the original laser source. So it's not very practical to have a transmission hologram for everyday display purposes. So what I'm doing here is turning on and off, if you will, the different object and reference beams. So this is an object beam, so you can see the illumination that provides. And here is another object beam off to the side. So again, these help to provide additional illumination of the object. It's very difficult to, at least I found it very difficult to properly illuminate from a short distance. Again, having these microscope objective lenses to try to broaden the beam and so forth. But in any case, this is what I came up with. So again, you can see, once again, looking around the plate. So this is using a larger size film. This is 6" by 6", I believe. And again, the quality is pretty good for this HX200 film. So once we've created the H1 hologram, then we can, as I mentioned earlier, we can use it to create the H2. So here is the setup for the H2. You'll notice that the H1 hologram, which is what you can see, well, it's off the frame now, but it is projecting onto a card. So this is the H1 hologram, that yellow orangish illuminated plate, and this is what would be the H2 plate. So I have a basically a set of cardstock here that I cut up into the size that will match the H2 plate, and I can rotate the plate holder and adjust the illumination here. So that's what you're looking at here, is basically choosing the angle that I want to create the H2 hologram. So this is that plate for H2, and here again, this is the H1 plate. And I have turned it on its side, and doing so allows me to move the mirror from being overhead to being on the table itself. Okay, so here we are now exposing the H1 plate onto the H2 plate. And what you're looking at here, this is the beam splitter. It provides object and reference beam. So the object beam is illuminating the mirror. And before it gets to the mirror, I have a cylindrical lens that provides the slit shape onto the H1 plate, which is key to making a Benton/rainbow hologram. Now you can also see the projection of the hologram onto the wall here, and I thought that was kind of interesting to see that. So as we illuminate the H2 plate, we also see that projection onto the wall. So here is the reference beam as we look at this side of the setup here. And it goes to a spatial filter. And from that spatial filter, which acts as a beam expander, it then goes on to the H2 plate. So we have both object and reference beam illuminating the H2 plate. So in this case, the H1 plate is considered the object in this situation. So I'll show here in a moment what the final result looks like after this exposure. Now you'll notice that the film I have loaded on the H2 plate is just a 4-inch square size film, but for the final result I swap in a 6-inch square size film. So let's go ahead and take a look at the result.